Imagine this. The year is 1983. The Cold War is at its absolute peak. Tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union are a razor's edge away from snapping. The world holds its breath, fearing the single push of a button that could plunge humanity into nuclear winter. Now, what if I told you that in the middle of all this, a hacker, a college student, almost became the accidental trigger for World War III? This isn't a Hollywood movie plot. This is the incredible and terrifying true story of what happened in September 1983. Our story starts not in the halls of power but in a dorm room. A group of tech-savvy teenagers and young adults from Milwaukee, who called themselves the 414s, were exploring the brand new, interconnected world of computer networks. This was before the internet as we know it. This was ARPANET, the precursor, a network connecting military computers, universities, and research labs. For the 414s, it was a digital playground, a puzzle to be solved. One of their members, a 19-year-old student, was particularly skilled. Using a simple home computer and a modem, he began dialing numbers, searching for open doors in this new digital frontier, and he found one, a big one. He managed to breach the network of the Los Alamos National Laboratory. Now, Los Alamos wasn't just any research facility, it was the birthplace of the atomic bomb, a key hub in America's nuclear weapons program. Unknowingly, this young hacker had wandered into one of the most sensitive digital locations on the planet. He and his friends explored the system, not with malicious intent to steal secrets or cause harm, but out of sheer curiosity. They were digital explorers, leaving little messages like the 414s are here as their calling card. They didn't realize the hornet's nest they were poking. The FBI was alerted, and a frantic high-tech manhunt began, one of the first of its kind. But before they could be caught, something far more dangerous was about to happen, completely unrelated, yet terrifyingly connected. Just as the FBI was closing in on the 414s halfway across the world, inside a secret Soviet bunker, a siren blared. Lieutenant Colonel Stanislav Petrov, the officer on duty, watched in horror as his screen flashed the worst possible news. Launch. The Soviet early warning satellite system was reporting that the United States had just launched 5 nuclear missiles, heading straight for the Soviet Union. Protocol was clear: report the attack to his superiors, who would then almost certainly order a massive retaliatory strike. This was it. The moment the world had dreaded for decades, the beginning of the end. But Petrov hesitated. Something felt wrong. The system was showing only 5 missiles. A real first strike from the US, he reasoned, would be overwhelming, involving hundreds if not thousands of missiles to cripple the Soviet ability to retaliate. 5 just didn't make sense. The system was new, and he knew it had bugs. His gut screamed that it was a false alarm. Every single protocol, every order, every fiber of his military training told him to report the launch. But his human intuition, his logic, told him to wait. He made a decision that would defy his orders but save the world. He reported it as a system malfunction. For long, agonizing minutes, he and his team waited, scanning the skies, expecting the world to end. And then, nothing. The missiles never came. It was, as he suspected, a catastrophic computer error. A rare alignment of sunlight reflecting off high-altitude clouds had tricked the satellite sensors. Now, let's connect the dots. In the United States, military and intelligence officials were in a state of high alert. First, there was the alarming breach at Los Alamos. They didn't know who was inside their most sensitive nuclear weapons network or what their intentions were. Was it a prank? Was it the KGB, the Soviet intelligence agency, probing for weaknesses before a real attack? The uncertainty was agonizing. At the exact same time, the global political climate was a powder keg. Just 3 weeks earlier, the Soviet military had shot down a civilian airliner, Korean Airlines Flight 007, killing all 269 people on board, including a US congressman. The world was on a hurt trigger. Imagine the perspective of the US military leadership at NORAD, the North American Aerospace Defense Command. They get a report: our top-secret nuclear labs network is compromised. At the same time, geopolitical tensions are at their highest point in years. Then, hypothetically, what if they see a blip on their own radar? A potential incoming Soviet missile. In that atmosphere of extreme paranoia and mistrust, with their own systems potentially compromised by an unknown hacker, could they trust their data? Would they assume it's a glitch, or would they assume the worst, that the hack and the launch were part of a coordinated Soviet first strike? The fear was that the breach of ARPANET could sow just enough doubt and confusion to cause a fatal hesitation or, even worse, a fatal overreaction. If the command and control systems couldn't be trusted, how could anyone make a rational decision in the few minutes they'd have to respond to a nuclear attack? The hacker, in his innocent exploration, had inadvertently shaken the very foundation of trust in the systems designed to prevent Armageddon. The slightest misunderstanding, the smallest miscalculation by either side, could have led to a retaliatory launch. The world came terrifyingly close to a nuclear war sparked not by a general or a president, but by a computer glitch and a curious teenager. In the end, the FBI tracked down the 414. The incident became a landmark case in cybercrime, leading to new laws and a greater understanding of cybersecurity. The young hacker who broke into Los Alamos and his friends were prosecuted, but their case served as a massive wake-up call. It highlighted a vulnerability no one had seriously considered: the digital front line of the Cold War. As for Stanislav Petrov, his story wasn't revealed until years later. He was initially reprimanded for not following protocol, but he was later celebrated as the man who saved the world. This dual crisis of 1983 is a chilling reminder of how fragile our world can be and how technology, in its brilliance, also introduces new and unforeseen risks. It shows us that history is often shaped not just by grand decisions, but by tiny moments, by glitches in code, by reflections of sunlight, and by the crucial choices of individuals caught in the storm. It is a story about the dawn of the internet age and the twilight of the Cold War colliding in the most dangerous way imaginable. It makes you wonder, in our even more connected world today, how many digital tripwires are out there, waiting for the wrong person or the wrong glitch to set them off. Thanks for watching. If you found this piece of hidden history as fascinating as I did, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories you were never taught in school. See you next time.